I'm not going until you tell me to go.
All right, it's on. Time to
it's
go.
on? Time to go? All right.
It's been a while.
That's the word. Okay, so we moved on the 59. On the 59.
Mm-hmm.
On the 59.
Mm-hmm.
To primary side. And you'd have to go back to the first video of the series to figure out all the repairs. But if you recall, what had happened is this was all mucked up in there.
Muckety.
Yeah, muckety muck. And now I rebored it, clean it up.
Oh, it's going to be too big now.
Well, no, because I didn't mess with this area.
Got you.
All right. I didn't mess with that. No freaking pointy thing.
Yeah, where's your pointy thing?
You
went to go get it.
Tra-la-la Goondia here.
That's no good.
I know. Can you get down there? Can you see in that thing?
Where's that?
All right, so this portion is bored out. This portion where the bearing goes is not. So making this oversized required us... Well, first off, let me explain how that happens. Let's see if there's any Sharpies in here. What's this guy? Oh, that one might be. Oh, that one's real sharp. Yeah, this one's real sharp. Okay, so what happened? I do need a pointy thing.
I like when you sigh when you're walking around. I forgot the pointy thing.
I got all fucking depointed. I was disappointed.
Disappointed.
That's what I was. All right, there's one.
Where's the official one?
I'm not there. I don't know. I don't know where. Pointy things seem to be in all different drawers now. I don't know why.
Albert.
No, I think me. All right. So what the deal is, this seal holder that normally goes right in here, all right, it's a press fit. That's what keeps the oil coming from the crankcase side into the primary side.
Okay.
Then this guy obviously seals on the sprocket once the sprocket's on there. All right. Now this thing is pretty precise. It's a press fit. It's ground, and they're ground this way too for thickness.
Okay.
So these things are real nice and straight and square. But the problem is that this right here, which is the edge going in, can be real sharp. And if you don't get it in straight, or you don't dull that edge, that thing's going to shave off material in there as you try to stick it in. And that's what the problem was here originally. All right, now. These things, this is the stock Harley one. These things are made from just mild steel that are carburized, then ground in here and over here. I didn't want to go through any carburization, so what I did is I took a nice handy piece of 4140 quenched and tempered and made a new one. And it's a couple of thousandths oversized to match our new bore.
So that's stainless.
No, this is
for the 4140.
This is for the layman. This is chrome moly that when you buy it from the metal supplier, you can get it quenched and tempered, which means they heat it up, quench it in the freaking oil, and temper it back to around 30 Rockwell. It's got about, I don't know, I'd say it's probably like 2.5 times as much beef on it than this thing has in its unhardened state.
Okay.
If I hit this thing with the hammer, like this, I'd shatter this thing right in half.
Okay.
If I hit this thing with a hammer, it'd have to be a 10-pound sledge probably to make the thing out around. It would just spring down and spring back like a freaking valve spring.
Okay.
That's how tough this stuff is. Okay, so anyhow, now, so hopefully that's going to solve that. And never mind, hopefully, I know that's going to solve that. And right, press that in there, right? Exactly.
Beautiful.
All right, so that's what's going on with that.
You made them before?
I never had to do this before because usually if they're screwed up here, they're screwed up the whole way through. And the bearing spins a lot of times. The bearing spins, this thing starts spinning with it, all right? Yep. That's really a thing that you start seeing in like 70 to 73, 4.
Okay.
All right. You'll also see it on big giant strokers. If the flywheels aren't put together well enough, or if the Timken's set up too tight, there's a lot of things that can make these bearings spin in this thing. On a stock bike, pretty rare. Pretty rare. So we did that. That seems to be now out of the way. So we moved on. The owner sent us some more parts. One of them being the trans door. And it's not the original trans door from the bike. All right. But it is the correct vintage. See that for the 3-screw?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you can see that somebody's messed around with it a little bit. But no, on the overall, it's a pretty good door. I checked the registration holes for the shift tower. That seems good. I didn't really look at this yet. I guess I best. I mean, I can't imagine it being screwed up. This door looks pretty nice. But what we did have is... Hang on, sorry guys. See the shiny?
Yep.
This was all high spots because these doors weren't matched because this case got screwed up. I'm going to show you in a minute how screwed up it got. And a little bit on this.
You can see the shiny.
You see the shiny?
Yep.
That's why I took the file and just ran it over until it started hitting other spots. Got most of the high spots off. So this door seems pretty flat. It's got a couple of marks over here where somebody went in with a, see a screwdriver right there. That probably matches these marks over here.
I would think so.
I would think so. All right. Anyhow, as you can see now, this pin is out. We pulled that pin out. Okay. See that sloppiness?
Yeah.
Top of that hole? That's from the trans blowing up. That, you know, broke the other side of the case that we had that big giant repair on.
Yep.
All right. So when that blew up, the door probably blew up too. And whatever happened in the trans to force the shafts apart, this pin ended up taking the brunt of it.
Yep.
After the door breaks. Usually the door breaks like this, some semblance of this. Door usually will break here.
Yep, that makes sense.
Right. And when it does, there's nothing really holding the shaft other than these two stinking bolts way over here, so the pin takes the brunt of it.
Mm-hmm.
You got all of that?
Got it all.
All right. We were good enough with that?
No, we are not.
All right. So we can see that the whole...
Again?
We're seeing at the... All right.
Do it again.
So when the shaft breaks, all right, when the case breaks and the shafts get forced
Use your other
apart...
hand. Yep.
All right? These doors usually break, and they usually break here. So when it's broken here, then the only thing holding the bottom of this door is these two little bolts over here and this pin. So the pin's going to get the crap beat out of it.
Got it.
Now, when the door broke, and we went over this on the earlier one, can you see that little crack? You might have to get different angles. Yeah, that was almost it. Back up a little bit, Soshi. Yeah, there's a little crack in here.
I can see it. Very minor.
Goes around. And we didn't fix that because it's very difficult to fix this crack in this area. And if the door's on there good, it's going to give it a lot more support. So I didn't feel that crack was big enough to deal with. The rest of this case was pretty much not too bad, other than a couple of stripped threads and some sloppy wrenching, I guess I'd call it. Now, we didn't fix any of the threads yet. I went after the worst thing. Now, when this pin got mushed, all right, I'm exaggerating it there because it's not all the way in the hole, but that's what happened. What happened was this area is not flat. We're going to show you that in a second. You're going to be surprised at how unflat it is,
See
actually.
if this camera actually will work right there.
Oh, that might be great.
Go ahead, give it a shot.
Let's see if I can do this so I'll get my big freaking meat beaters in there. Can we switch?
We can.
Okay. Yeah, that helps. Now, watch this. I'm going to use this razor blade as a straight edge, right? Now watch.
Oh,
don't know if we're getting it.
I don't know if we're getting it either. But
What you're showing me, what you're showing here is that,
is that this thing is so
now
high.
do that again.
All right, that, oh, see a little gap in there?
Yep, now I see it. So
Now,
here,
back
the
up
gap
when
is-
I'm gonna, yes.
The gap is here.
Right, because it's pushed up there. Now, as you start backing up, I'll keep doing this, and you'll get an idea for. See that?
Yep.
Up over here, on the opposite area, right? We got a good freaking. What do we got in there? Christ, I bet you it's 530 seconds. I bet you it's 150 thousandths. Okay, so we're gonna have to get back in here, Soshi. So what we're gonna do here is first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get in there and I'm going to trim everything flat again.
So put it up in the Bridgeport.
Yeah, put it up in the milling machine. And whatever's high, I'm going to remove.
Got you.
All right? At that point, what I got to do is relocate where this pin goes. And I know all of these dimensions. I know where it goes. You know, so that it's the correct distance from this guy.
Got your 1 point.
And the correct rotary action from this guy.
Got it.
Okay, can you see what I'm trying to do there? Hang on. Maybe you can. So I'm up on a pin here.
Yep.
And one thing is the center distance, but the next thing is this rotation. All of that's got to be right.
Yep.
All right, so I can't just put it, all right, I can't just put it straight on. I also have to get the traverse direction correctly. All right, so once I do that, what I can do is I can just bore this hole out until she cleans up.
Yep.
Then what we'll do is you just make a step pin.
Yep.
A dual sizer.
A dual sizer. We've seen it before.
Yeah, so we've seen it before.
So
that's
nothing new here.
Yeah. So that's what we'll do with that.
280 cycle.
Yeah. That's Forsters from 280. Yeah. All right. Is that it for today? I think it is. Wait a minute. I know there was something else I was talking about. I wanted to talk about real fast. No, that was it. Go ahead.
All
That's
right.
it.
Very
we'll
good.
See you soon.
See you later.